Now that everybody is legally able to get the medicine that they need, whether it be through a gas station or online, it really starts to raise the question of which one should you go to? And obviously, there are pluses and negatives of both. And I kind of want to just go over those today. It's something that I'm surprised that I actually haven't talked about just because I actually started out this channel by getting things from a gas station, and those were probably the worst products I had, but also keep in mind it was in the beginning of D8. Shout out to JK Distro for sponsoring the video, man. Companies like them allow me to literally make any kind of topic and do just whatever I want. Right here, we do have some of their amazing THCA flower. This is their jar of keef. I don't know what it is, but these keef videos I've been doing, y'all just fucking love them. They just pop off for no reason. I don't get it, but I appreciate it. Appreciate everybody that's new. Cheers. I think one of the biggest reasons why people look at gas stations, just when I check comments, I often do see a lot of people saying, you know, I get XX company that I work with at a gas station. I've seen companies that I've worked with at a gas station. And so obviously I get the desire to have the product right on hand, but you also are limited quite a bit. I do see a lot of the same ones around my gas stations, and I'm gonna be honest, it's a lot of companies that I've never worked with or even seen or even really seen people talk about. Like one of the big ones I think is like Flying Horse or something like that, and I've never even heard of that one, to be real. And I often do see a lot of comments saying like these random brands that I've never even heard of. And they're like, yeah, I got it at my gas station. It's fucking super, super fire. And I'm like, okay, yeah. So in my opinion, one of the biggest negatives that you might possibly run into with going to gas stations is finding fake ones. And that's not even necessarily their fault. They might push a lot of like cake. A lot of people think cake is fake because they made a lot of people made like sub brands of cake, made their own packaging with cake, all that kind of stuff. And it's easy for these kinds of people to make this packaging, go to gas stations, or one of the biggest ones, if you don't know as well, is that there are stores online that, you know, obviously sell all these products in bulk. So they hit up all these different companies, JK Distro, Cake, whoever the case is, right? And they sell all of that on one website. And a lot of these companies will hit up gas stations, sell them products in bulk. And sometimes I can get finicky because there's a bunch of middlemen now. You don't actually know if it's the correct company all the time. So you can just run into a lot of people that have shady companies that are just trying to push that product out as fast as they can. And, you know, gas stations are looking at numbers of any of these products selling, and they're probably being like, oh yeah, this is crazy. Like, these are doing really good. Because anytime I go to a fucking gas station, bro, like, I see people buying a hemp product almost every single time. Or at least they're always looking at the window of it. Anytime I go out of town, like Gatlinburg or just any bigger city, I always notice people are buying hemp or going into hemp shops now, and it's pretty interesting. So one of my biggest, just like I said, negatives really is just that you might possibly find fake ones of a real company, and that's just really scary. Another negative, but this isn't really that big of a negative to me because I do realize it. It's almost a positive if you have the money, I guess, or you're okay with spending a little bit more money. And that is the fact that, you know, you get it right then and there. You know what I'm saying? But it does cost a little bit more because you have the middlemen, you have the workers, you have the place, you have all that factoring in. So, you know, if it's like a $35 cart online, you know, they're probably selling it for $55 or they're probably selling it for $50. And, you know, that's where I think a lot of people also get that mindset of like, oh, it might be really expensive, or oh, it's too expensive. Yeah, in some gas stations it's pretty crazy, but you gotta remember, you're getting it right then and there, buddy. Now, for anybody that's gonna be like, okay, but what about smoke shops? I'm not talking about those because those are completely different. I am probably gonna make a whole separate video on why I think you should still not really go to smoke shops either, because I went to a bunch as well, just over time of going to bigger cities, and I never really buy anything. But, you know, it's half vape shop, half weed shop. Like, you might find a company that has their own, plus, like, maybe other companies they work with or whatnot. But for the most part, it's always going to be, like, just a wide variety of the same stuff. Bro, I've seen the Elf Bar THCs. I've seen all kinds of crazy ones at smoke shops that I would never even think about touching. If I didn't work with these companies, I would still just be smoking flower. Like, I probably wouldn't even touch the carts or dispos or anything like that. from a gas station. I mean, like if I did my due diligence online, maybe I would, but like I'm a big shopper. Like I need that shit now. So I'm a big kind of shopper of going into gas stations, going into smoke shops and getting that shit now. And it's usually backfired because I have bought flour before in different states and whatnot just because I wanted to try it. And it always ends up tasting terrible compared to literally any other company I actually try for the channel. And that's just because I genuinely think that online shopping is just way better for everything, but even for this legal medicine. I know nobody really wants to wait, but the adult thing I guess to do would be to like kind of make a cycle so that way you're always good, always gonna have like re-up or whatever you want to call it. But you know, sometimes it doesn't work like that. Sometimes shipping takes a little bit longer. So I get that. I really do. Put it like this, it's a really bad cycle that you can get into of not being able to time things up because of money, life, whatever. And then you end up paying more for it in the long run in the sense of like, you know, now, you know, you ran out and you can't wait till the other package arrives. So maybe you buy something in the little in-between time and now you're spending more money or just something of that nature of not even being able to shop online because it just like, you don't want to wait. So now you're spending more in the long run compared to just waiting, but it can be a bitch to wait. I know better than anybody. I have, you know, a lot of time essentially. So like, I hate waiting for shit more than ever. I've always hated waiting for shit. I literally used to hate commercials so much because I had to wait for my TV show to come back on. But I genuinely believe that online's better. And I think most people would definitely agree with that just because sales, I mean, there's always sales, you know what I mean? There's always some kind of deal going on. 2, you can literally get whatever the fuck you want instead of whatever product that you might look up in the gas station, like be looking on Reddit just in case on fake carts or whatever. You're looking at the gas station, the smoke shop, you know what I mean? So obviously you can get whatever, do a lot more research and deals. Like that's the biggest thing. And you can find so many cool companies, man. But you know, like I said, it's just hard to sometimes get on a cycle like that of being able to do that because I myself for a lot of my life was not doing that or was not able to do that just because I would smoke too much because like you essentially have to make, you know, like, hey, this has got to last till this or like I'm out, you know what I mean? Or maybe you have a little extra, make sure you always have a little extra, you know what I'm saying? And that's where those deals come in handy. I've never really been that big of a fan of brick and mortar stores anyway. Just because like I want to support people, but also you're supporting companies online as well. And you know, shops, it's just pretty much, it's just more expensive nowadays, you know what I mean? And I'm in the business of saving money and getting the best quality medicine that I can for the best price. And I think almost anybody would agree with that. You'd be silly not to, you know what I mean? You'd just be like you want to, if you want to spend more extra money to like support maybe like a homie that owns a store, like I get that, of course. But like for the most part, man, like you're paying 10, you know, 20% more, sometimes even more on a product just because it's at a brick and mortar store or a gas station or a smoke shop. Anyway, man, I'm gonna go ahead and end it here. I guess you guys let me know what you think. I think a lot of people agree online shopping's better, but I think a lot of people will also understand that it's just hard to get into that cycle of always making sure that you're good until that next order comes and that you don't have to spend extra money in between because that just sucks sometimes. My best advice on that is always make sure to just get a little extra. You know what I mean? If you can, just always get a little extra. That's always my biggest thing. But if you guys enjoy the N-Bump, you can send your own to chillydillyendbumps@gmail.com. Much love.
Evil Empire, laughing all the way to the bank.